Hello and welcome to another one of my videos. I've laid low for a bit, just wasn't really feeling it. That's okay. I wasn't sick, I just didn't really have the energy. I want to address the video that I said I would address, not the auction one, the video about there's too many dealers. So basically what we're seeing on the groups is an absolute bloodbath. It is awful. I was looking today, I've just seen Chards enter the fray. Does that mean their traditional hunting grounds, where they would traditionally sell, it's becoming a bit bleak for them? You know, if you're struggling your charts, what hope is there for the rest of the dealers? I'm not really too worried about this, but I will go into detail about what is going to really happen on the groups and how I believe it's going to go down as a professional dealer. Now, for me, I've been saying for months, I've been planning for years. I knew this time would come because markets are always about cycles. On the up, everyone makes money, even the little man. Seen that many times before. People will come to me and saying, "Oh, I'm making money hand over fist." I'm like, "Good, great for you." And then a few months later, don't hear from them. I've seen so many grand openings and grand closings. I can't remember how many. I really can't. Now, in terms of this side of the market, what we're seeing is the opposite. So upward market, everyone makes money. You know, downward market, the good make money. Sideways market, that's where your bread and butter traders are. There's not enough money to go around. Little pockets of money do open up, but in the majority of the market, people's usual spends are being squeezed for obvious reasons. You got fuel, you've got council tax going up, cost of living, it's not a good thing. It's a crisis for many people. It's called a crisis for a reason. Now, what this has meant, or at least my opinion is, traditionally these dealers who would stay away from the peer-to-peer side of things, I think they're having to go in there to sustain. Now, you need to realize, someone like me, it's great because I'm an individual. I've got no overheads. That's how I've come out on top all these years. I run it on a shoestring. There is a reason I don't have an office. There's a reason I don't employ people. Now, that has worked against me for health reasons, but overall, I'm certainly not stressing if I can't sell stock. I've also got the sidearm of the stamps, which is more than paying dividends at the moment. And I actually expect it will eclipse my coin earnings. I genuinely believe that. It's not a stamp channel. I won't be going down that avenue with this channel. It's just kind of something else I do. These big dealers, they've got to pay these overheads. They've got rent, they've got rates, they've got staff. If you're Mr. Charts or you're Mr. Atkinson, Mr. Bullion by post, you've got a lot of expenses. You've got to turn that stock. Now, for me, I can do this. See you later, guys. I'm laying low for 6 weeks. Doesn't bother me. I can pick and choose my battles and not bat an eyelid. I'm not concerned. It's annoying. It is annoying because I don't like to sit on my hands. But overall, it's fine. But these dealers are coming in, and there's lots of these dealers. I've seen so many new faces over the past couple of months. And what's going to happen is it's a race to the bottom. People are going to get wiped out. They're going to leave the fray. The herd is going to thin. And that's a natural business cycle. That happens in every industry. It's nothing new with coins. It's just with coins you're playing at a higher level of risk because there's such low margins in the coin game. In terms of moving forward, I think the middle players, they're going to suffer. I think the small players, it doesn't really matter so much because they've only really dipped their toe in the market. They're not fully committed. They haven't built a business around it. Like if you're making 20,000, by small I mean, if you're making 25,000 pound selling coins, the reality is you're not really going to have that many costs. And if you do have excess costs, you're going to be able to survive by getting a minimum wage job. Now, I run this model myself a few years back. I was like, keep the costs low, build the product line, or build the reserve. If it goes wrong, I can always go back to my job stacking shelves. Didn't want to, but the reality is there was no kind of risk. The middle players, they're going to struggle. it's kind of like in life where the middle class kind of gets screwed every time. It's the middle class that suffers. It's the same with businesses. The middle struggle because they get eaten by the big players. So the big players can come in and they've got vast reserves and they can outrun them, they can outgun them. It's not a problem. Now, that's the position I'm in. I'm not a huge player. I'm really not. Like, a lot of people view me on the groups as one of the bigger guys. The reality is I'm not. I'm a fairly middle-sized trader. But where I do well is I run it on a shoestring. Now, in terms of where this will lead in 18 months, I think there's going to be absolutely tons of bargains. If you're a buyer, you can already see it on the groups. I put something out. Now, this rubbed me up the wrong way, actually. I will mention it. If the guy sees it, I'm more than happy to say why it rubbed me up the wrong way. I put a coin out, so I lowered the price, and he comes back to me and he said, well, would you take £15 off it? And I went, I'll look at the numbers. No, not really. I'll knock a fiver off it. And he said to me, but I want a bargain. And I was like, you can want all you want. You know, out of point of principle, I didn't come that low. Could I have done it? It's not a problem. You know, I've got no problem cashing in my chips and re-rolling the dice. This is happening a lot. Now, the big dealers can sustain that. The reason they can sustain that is A, they got reserves, and B, people naturally go to them because they're a trusted source. Going back to Mr. Chard's, Mr. Atkinson's, people sell to them because they've been in the business so long, that level of trust is there. Now, I'm going to pay you more. For my stock, I'll pay you more than these guys. That's okay. You know, that's not a slight at them. They've got a bigger operation. They have more costs, and that's fine. The reason I can operate the way I can is because I don't have these costs, and that's why I can pay more to you guys. But even then, I'm not really buying much. I was offered 5 Krugerrands. The gentleman offered them to me at 97.5%. I've never had a rate that low, apart from one occasion where the guy was doing me a favour. I even offered to pay him more, but he was like, "No, I don't mind." I was like, "Thank you." But it's difficult in a sense where I don't have £1 million in the coffers, and that's not a lot of money in this game. It really isn't. Where I don't have that, I'm thinking I can't afford to sit on it, and I don't think I can sell it at 99. I'm not taking the risk at 1.5% margin, because the reality is if spot price if spot price drops, I got something in my throat. If spot price drops, I'm working for free, I'm losing money. The bigger guys can withstand this. The smaller guys can't. The smaller guys are struggling, and I expect lots of them and the middle size to kind of get wiped out of the market over the next 18 months. I'll be leaving in 18 months anyway, most likely. Not for that reason, I just fancy a change. Now, if you look at the groups, there's a lot more people coming in. And whereas before it was very gentlemanly like, it's now very dog eat dog. I don't think that's going to change. I actually blame the Silver Farm for this. In a way anyway, not completely. The reason I left the Silver Farm, I'm not throwing shade at them. I didn't like the fact that people hid behind their name. You know, you paid for this service. You didn't really get anything for it. You just get people bombard you with low ball offers, and you call them out and they say, "Oh, sorry, I don't know any better." And it's just like, okay. That's why I went over to social media, Facebook, etc., YouTube, because I didn't like that. I wanted to build stronger clientele, where it was an equal relationship. Like, relationship building is very much part and parcel of the business. But that side of things is a real problem, because when people are coming in and it's dog eat dog, all you do is force the price down. And when you got more dealers who are not making money in their traditional hunting grounds, everyone suffers. Literally everyone suffers. It's a race to the bottom, and until the market flips, until the spotlight goes on gold and every media outlet in the world is like, buy gold, like gold is the thing you want, I can't see it changing. Now, in terms of me, am I worried about going toe-to-toe with any of these dealers? Nah, I'm a clever cookie. On that note, I'll see you later.